am going to present in the morning this analysis of the Xanatacus music genre data set. I looked at over 415 papers that have been published over the past 23 years. Now, the work that's using the Xanatacus data set is about 23%, so 96 papers have used Xanatacus data sets in order to test their genre recognition systems. Who has actually listened to the Xanatacus data set? So in these 415 papers, I've only found a few instances of people writing that they had listened to it. So we found that too closely numbered files in each genre tend to sound similar than the files numbered further away. This was in 2005. In 2006, to our ears, the examples are well labeled, and our impression from listening to the music is that no artist appears twice. So more recently, in 2010, we expect an artist effect as listening to some songs reveal that some of the artists are repeated in several songs. And more recently, 7 duplicates were found in the Xanatacus data set. Also, this work by Lee and Chan, they actually listened to every single piece, every excerpt, to estimate the key of the piece. And I asked them, did you notice anything strange about the data set? And they said, well, we heard some repeats, repetitions, and other problems with the data set, but they didn't write anything about it. So in the beginning of this year, I actually listened to the Xanatacus data set, piece by piece, excerpt by excerpt. That's 8.5 hours of listening, and I've done it maybe 4 times now over the past year. So I'm going to test your genre recognition ability by playing each one of these examples here. So call it out when you know the genre. Popular back in 2002. And she is in the pop data set.
It's enjoyable to know you in the concubine.
Yes, hip hop, A Tribe Called Quest. That's metal. That's actually a band from Gothenburg, Sweden, Dark Tranquility. Jazz, Joe Lovano and his group. That's blues, Johnny Hooker.
Found me there on the streets of Nashville, humming out.
Nashville. Not many songs other than country mention Nashville. So that's Billy Joe Shaver.
Disco.
Little video from the BBC prom.
Reggae.
That's reggae, and it's brown.
Let me tell you about the girl I met.
Survivor, which was rock back in the 80s. Maybe not so. It's soft rock now, but it was rock back then. Yeah, Bernstein. So where does it belong?
Musicals.
It's Symphonic Dance's West Side Story, and it's in the jazz section. It's labeled jazz. I say it should be in classical, because in classical we find 2 other excerpts by Bernstein. That's a tough one. That's Wayne Toop's Cajun. Cajun music, and it's in country.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps.
So that's the Lion Sleeps Tonight. We all know that song because of Disney and our parents. But that's in the rock. It's labeled rock. That's with Survivor. That's with Queen. That's with Sting. I argue it should be in a totally different Bound Turks. We look at their Last FM page. We see popular tags: punk, punk rock, garage punk, garage rock. Maybe the closest would be rock, since we don't have a punk category, but it's in the metal section. It's labeled metal. So there we have a glitch remix of King Tubby's Splash Out Dub. 25 seconds of that 30-second excerpt is digital noise, is digital glitch. So our algorithms are learning reggae from that example. And it's in the reggae section. When we look at the about 900 excerpts that I have identified, and we actually retrieve the tags that are on Last FM for them, these are the sort of wordles that we get. So the size of these words are the frequency of the tags that people are applying to these tracks. And of the 100 blues labeled excerpts in Xanathakas, we find a big blues part, which is good. Blues rock, Delta blues, but we also find a huge Zydeco portion. And here's an example of Zydeco. When we actually look at the Last FM tags of those 24 excerpts, we find no blues except for this little one here, Blues Cruiser. In the disco, the 100 disco excerpts, we find soul, which is quite related to disco, but we also find LaToya Jackson from the 80s. And very early hip hop. When we look at the heavy metal excerpts, we find that 12 are punk, or punk rock, and we find a significant amount of rock and classic rock in there. This excerpt here, this particular one, is replicated in the rock portion of the data set. And it's also metal. That's Queen, Tie Your Mother Down. And in rock, we find a lot of classic rock too. So classic rock is overlapping quite a lot. And when you look at people's results in the classification using the Xanathakas data set, the rock is oftentimes misclassified as metal excerpts. And perhaps we see one of the reasons is because the rock excerpts have a significant amount of classic rock, whereas the metal excerpts also have a significant amount of classic rock. So when we look at the composition of the 100 excerpts that are in the blues, we find a significant replication of artists. 12 are by John Lee Hooker, 17 are by Robert Johnson, 10 are Stevie Ray Vaughan. And we find some things that are questionably blues, like this excerpt from Kelly Joel Phelps.
Goes down the old guitar, seeing things the way they are.
Which, should it be blues? He is a blues artist, but he's also an acoustic folk artist. And we've got Hot Toddy.
We were young.
I'm not so sure of that. In country, we find 16 Willie Nelson songs, so a significant replica of Willie Nelson. In other words, you must use an artist filter now when you use this data set if you don't want to have skewed results, because a portion of this could be in the training and test set.
Like the way
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
He's sleeping on the job. No.
Burt Bacharach is not really country in my ears. Oldies.
So to her mother,
And some other
with
oldies.
each other, so their love.
And in reggae, this is where we find the most significant number of artist replicas. Bob Marley, 34 excerpts here are Bob Marley. So that's a reggae excerpt. This is a remix of Bob Marley. So in conclusion, of the 1,000 excerpts, we find not 7, but 50 exact replicas, including 1 in 2 classes, so that's over 5% of the data set. We have 22 coming from the same recording, so this recording has been, 2 excerpts or more have been removed from that, taken from that recording. They're not exact replicas, but they're from the same recording. 13 different versions, so it's the same song but different artists. In the pop section, we have 4 Lady Marmalade with Christina Aguilera. 106 mislabelings, I argue. So that's over 10% of the data set. And many excerpts come from the same artist. We have some distortion. So Zanataka's data set, it's been known this is probably not the best data set for learning, but it had yet to be spelled out in so direct a way. So I've created a machine-readable index of the excerpts here. All but about 105, 106 of them are listed in the following way, where we've got the excerpt name, the artist, and the title. And I could use your help in identifying those 116 others.